Hello everyone, welcome aboard. So again, we have brought you the new session of daily current affairs, and today we are going to discuss about the current affairs of 6th of October. Okay, so let's get started. The first item today is about Moody's rating to the India. So see, Moody is a rating firm which provides the rating to the countries, whether how good they are in terms of investment or investment destination. So it has given stable rating to India. Earlier it was negative, now it has become stable. But even today, PAA3, that's what is the rating of India in the Moody's chart, and which is the lowest investment grade rating. Okay, so just remember, Moody is a company which gives the financial rating to the countries over the world. Next article today is about the physics Nobel Prize. So these days we know that Nobel Prizes are being announced. This time it has been given the physics Nobel Prize to a climate expert theorist. There are three people: Sukuro Manabe, he's American Japanese; Klaus Hasselmann of Germany; and Giorgio Parisi, he's from Italy. So they have created a model of climate based on a physical theory, and that's why they have achieved this Nobel Prize. So this also underlines the significance of climate change in the today's scientific world. Okay. Moving to the next is RBI's microfinance proposals that are anti-poor. See, microfinance or the financial inclusion is a very, very important topic. GS paper 3 has it. When you read about economy, you are going to read about it, and prelims as well as mains. Every year you will see questions from this area. So what has happened is RBI has published a document on the regulation of microfinance. What is microfinance? Also, this is known as microcredit. Okay, so what is microcredit? People who don't have good jobs, microcredit. People who are unemployed or who are low income individuals who cannot get the banking facilities like loan or credit support from the formal institutions. This caters to their need. So microfinance is serving to the underserved or unserved section of the population in the financial area. So RBI's document says that it wants to expand the microfinance. See, earlier it was being supported by the scheduled commercial banks, regional rural banks, okay, schemes like the Kisan credit card. But RBI wants to regulate it through private entities. You would have heard of like Bajaj Finserv, Tata Capital. So till now, there was regulated interest rate. RBI has kept a ceiling that you cannot charge more than this interest rate to these people. But still, sometimes they charge very high interest rate from these individuals who do not have any collateral security for loan. Now, RBI wants to move it to the market regime. RBI says that the market forces of supply and demand will bring competition, and all the private entities will reduce their rate. But sometimes we don't see that happening. What happens, they create a sort of lobby and they keep charging high. See, this is underserved section of the population. They do not have too much awareness. They are not aware about the controls and regulation. So microfinance is very important for poor rural household. In India, it started in 1990, like scheduled commercial banks with the help of NGOs, self-help group, very, very important topic. You'll be reading about it. Then to regulate it and to make it better, Malegaon committee was appointed, and that created the regulatory framework. So again, this is your prelims bite. Malegaon committee is related to microfinance institutions. And now if RBI will increase or push the participation of private banks, then public sector banks participation is likely to fall. Okay, so that can be a challenge. Moving to the next, with Aukus, India must keep its head above the water. So from past 10 days, in every video we have covered Aukus and Quad from new dimensions. So Aukus is a security grouping. We all know that new grouping of Australia, UK and US. Aukus is a new grouping of Australia, UK and USA. Now, already these two people, they were part of Quad, and then they created a new security alliance. So the article basically says that we must be aware of the new groupings, opportunities, what they create, and what are their challenges. So India has from the beginning maintained ambiguous stand, means it's not favoring Aukus and it's not rejecting Aukus. China's reaction is not very good. See, basically both Quad and Aukus, it's aimed at containing China. Okay, US being part of both of it. See, why we don't want Quad to become a military alliance, or why we don't want to become or don't want to become part of AUKUS like organization is because only India out of these countries who want to control China, we have the real border with China. So if imagine if any case of conflict or war will happen, where it is going to happen? It will happen on Indian soil. So we don't want to become, some Cold War era battleground for these giant countries. Also, we have seen conflicts with China in the past 2 years, and nobody really came out loud for helping. So if any tensions were increased, we have to deal with it by ourselves. So these security alliances, they have these challenges. So we do not want to become the net security part provider in the Indo-Pacific region, that anybody does anything wrong and we will guarantee their security. We want to become preferred security provider rather than net security provider, so that if something is in line with our goals, we will try to work with them. Okay, so this is a balanced stand, and you can use this in your mains answers as well, plus essay as well. That is the main reason why we don't want to become the part of military alliances. Moving to the next is the challenges of going back to the school. So schools have reopened. Education is a very, very important part of the syllabus. If you look at the GS paper 2, the topic says issues related to health and education. Okay, so that's where it is a part of syllabus. So the main argument of this article is that the guidelines which the government has issued for opening the schools, they are focused more on health and sanitation measures. And apart from these worries, basically the children or the school going kids, they have lost a lot in the last 2 years. Their learning outcomes have declined. They were not able to attend to the schools or the social environment which they were used to. So this is going to create a gap. Also, see, for kids who have enough financial resources, their loss is less, but the kids from underprivileged section of society, imagine a kid of a migrant labor. Somehow he was reading something in some metropolitan city, and now he has moved to his village. So we have to focus especially on equity, that how we can balance this gap which has occurred because of pandemic. There was already a gap, it has worsened due to pandemic, but now we have to do something extra to fill this gap. Also, there has to be effective and regular communication with the parents, that okay, how they can improve this situation. Then we need to support students socio-economic developments, which they have totally lost. There was no social environment, all the kids were at their home, and economically as well, whether equipping them with the skills so that they can become economically independent in the near future. Then reorganizing curriculum so that the gap which has occurred in the past 2 years in every class, that can be fulfilled in the upcoming 2 to 3 years. There, we have to extend the learning time, because there is already a learning gap because of lockdown, and hire additional teachers. The current strength is not going to do that. The public schools, means the government schools, they are already understaffed. We need to enhance the training and learning support for the teachers as well. All of it is going to require additional funding. Almost 1 million children have migrated from one place to the other. So their schools are going to change, and they will be coming back to the schools after a big gap of 1 to 2 years. And 40% the schooling is done by private institutions, which are costlier, and for a large section of society which belongs to the below poverty line, they cannot afford this. Okay, so do remember these points. This will help you to write when it comes to writing about education in the post-COVID era. The Met on the mat. So this is about ethics. We have seen some instances in Uttar Pradesh as well as in the Tamil Nadu, the deaths happening in the police custody. So basically, this is the part of GS paper 4. Ethics is directly part of GS paper 4 in the mains. There is a whole paper which is about ethics. So first, what is ethics? Ethics tells you about the rightness or wrongness of your act. Okay, so whether what you're doing is right or wrong, that how do you determine that? You determine it by ethical principles. So new culture of ethics, not deterrent. Deterrent punishment means if you are going to tell a lie, your parents says that they will give you a punishment. So that's a deterrent, that the fear of punishment is deterrent. But we already have that in the police system, but it is not working. We already have numerous controls. There are committees, there is a grievance redressal mechanisms, but there are helpline numbers, but still they are not producing the desired effect. So the whole argument is that not the deterrent punishment, but new culture of ethics is needed for improving the this police performance in the country. Okay, moving to the next is about to add just another point in the same police thing. See, we have updated the technology. Now there is e-filing system of FIRs. You can report through internet if there are any frauds. But just by digitization or computerization of the police machinery, without changing the mindset, again, it is not going to address the problem. So deterrent punishment or just the technology will not work. We have to supplement it with the transforming ethics mindset. Moving to the next is there is a crackdown in China in the IT firms. Okay, so basically China is a communist country. It's not a democracy, and that's how you see the difference. So in our country, you are open, you can criticize the government. Okay, uh, but in China, Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba Group, he basically reacted to the or criticized the government, and the result is now they are trying to regulate their technology sector. For example, Ant Group, again, it is headed by Jack Ma only, the founder of Alibaba, and they have started regulating their activities, regulating their finances or investment, also the controlling their algorithms. See, the whole argument or of this article is basically if the tech sector is being regulated there, they will come out of China. What can be their desired destination? They can just reach to India. You have a lot of skilled workforce. We have a highly developed IT sector. Okay. During the pandemic, the rate of digitization, if you have seen all the educational institutions, they moved over to the online system. Various services which were either offline or having a mixed approach, now they are coming to the online system. So digitization is increasing in India, and we can be a preferred destination for the funds which will leave China after this regulation, what China is trying to impose in its economy. We must be open to the partnership, to any such alliances, okay, which will benefit India. So that was all for today's session, guys. Hope all of you have liked the session. Please do not forget to link, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And please let us in the comment section if you have any questions. And I hope you have liked the session, and we'll see you soon in the next lecture. Thank you.